Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous session, we have discussed about classification of colloids. That is second way of classifying the colloids. That is, it is based on the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Just we recall the concept what we said here. So based on the interaction, what is the basis here? Second way of classification is based on okay based on interaction interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium particles. Yes, based on this concept we can classify the colloids into two types. What is that? Lyophilic, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು? Lyophilic colloids, and second one lyophobic colloids, right? Lyophobic colloids, two types. So based on the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium, colloids can be categorized, classified into two types: lyophilic colloids and lyophobic colloids. Howda? Further we have defined it. Lyophobic colloid means, yes, it is a type of colloid in which there is a greater affinity, or you can say interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium particles. Okay, there is a greater affinity between dispersed phase and dispersion medium particles. On the other hand, if I consider lyophobic colloids, here there is a less affinity between, okay, less affinity between dispersed phase and dispersion medium particles. Further, we considered certain characteristics of these lyophilic and lyophobic colloids, and even we can consider the differences between these lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the colloids can be classified into three ways. There are three bases by which we can classify the colloids. First one we said, based on the physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium, colloids can be categorized into 8 types. Well, in the second way we said, based on the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion media, colloids can be categorized into two types: lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Now in this session I am going to consider one more way of classification. That is one more way of classification of colloids. Here the colloids can be classified into multimolecular, okay, colloids can be classified into multimolecular, macromolecular, and associated colloids. So this is the another way of classifying the colloids. Yes, colloids can be classified into three types. What is that? Multimolecular colloids, macromolecular colloids, and the third one, associated colloids. Well, here, what is the basis of this classification? What is the basis means here? Based on the type of particles of a dispersed phase. Please remember what is the basis here? Based on the type of particles of a dispersed phase, these colloids can be categorized into three types. As I said, those three types are multimolecular, macromolecular, and third one, associated colloids. Well, we try to understand these three types of colloids. Well, what is the first one? Multimolecular colloids. Okay, so here when you look at the name of the colloid, what we are saying, multimolecular. Multi means, I can say, generally large number. ಹೌದಾ? Multi ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ? Generally it specifies the large number. Molecular means here large number of molecules which constitutes the colloid. Yes, what we are saying here, as the name says, multi-molecular. Multi ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ? Large number molecules. So, a type of colloid, multi-molecular colloid is nothing but it is a type of colloid here. Large number of molecules, they aggregate. ಅವೇನಾಗ್ತವೆ? They aggregate to give a colloid is called multimolecular colloid. So ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು? Multimolecular colloid nothing but say smaller particles. Okay, small particles of size. Smaller particles, when they associate, what happens if small particles of size less than 1 nanometer, small particles of size, okay, if the size is less than 1 nanometer, they are called true solution true solution particles. ಹೌದಾ, ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಟ್ರೂ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. when these small particles aggregate, say I am writing about aggregation. So after aggregation, what happens? The particles, they come very close to one another, so it leads to formation of a resultant molecule. Okay, the aggregate is formed whose size will be greater than 1 nanometer, right? Also I can say is in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Well, we know that if the size of the particle is in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, what happens? It leads to formation of a colloid. So here why we are saying multimolecular means more number of molecules, large number of molecules on aggregation, okay, on aggregation leads to formation of a colloidal particle. Therefore, it is named as a multimolecular colloids. So, if I consider multimolecular colloids, yes, what we are saying, a large number of atoms are smaller molecules. Okay, large number of atoms are smaller molecules of a dispersed phase of a, they aggregate together to form species having size in the colloidal range. Such type of colloids formed are called multimolecular colloids. Okay, well, if you look at the example for multimolecular colloids, suppose one gold soul. Okay, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ well known example ಯಾವುದು? Gold soul is a well known example for multimolecular colloids. It means here the size of the gold particle. Okay, there will be various range in the size of the gold particle. Say here size of the gold particle may be less than 1 nanometer. ಈಗ gold particle, okay, gold particles act as a dispersed phase. Okay, when the size of the gold particles is less than 1 nanometer, so these particles when they aggregate, okay, when those smaller particles aggregate, the resultant particle formed whose size if it is in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, what happens? It leads to formation of a gold soul. Okay, so here overall what is to be remembered means, here multimolecular colloid means, say smaller molecules of size less than 1 nanometer, when they aggregate, the resultant particles are formed if it is size whose size is in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. What happens? It results into formation of a colloid is called multimolecular colloids. Okay, well, so example for multimolecular, best example is gold soap. And one more, if I consider one more example for multimolecular colloids, that is sulfur soul. So in sulfur soul, what happens? We know about the existence of a sulfur. Okay, sulfur exists in different allotropic forms. So one of the form, or you can say it exists in the form of a, okay, molecule, that is S8. A molecule sulfur contains 8 sulfur atoms. So if I consider sulfur soul, before formation of sulfur soul, what happens? Actually it exists sulfur molecules, 8 sulfur atoms, they aggregate, it leads to formation of a molecule. The size of the molecule formed will be in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So it results into formation of a colloid, or you can say sulfur soap. If I consider individual sulfur atom, okay, whose size will be less than 1 nanometer, it constitutes any colloid. But when these sulfur molecules are present, okay, there is 8 sulfur atoms, they aggregate, it leads to formation of a molecule whose size will be in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Therefore it results into formation of a multimolecular colloid. Okay, well, so it's a one type, multimolecular colloids. Second one, macromolecular colloids. Macro. So here macro usually, what it means? Macro usually refers to large. Okay, large in size. So if I consider, okay, first one multimolecular, so there also we considered more number of particles. Here macro usually refers to large size. So macromolecular colloid means, yes, it is a type of colloid. It is a type of colloid formed by macromolecules. Navinalithivili, a type of colloid formed by macromolecules is called macromolecular colloids. Yes, what is the meaning of macromolecular? Macromolecules means these are the particles whose size is already in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, or I can say the particles having a size, that is size which is equivalent to colloidal range. The particles having size equal to colloidal range. What is a colloidal range? 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Such particles are called macromolecules. So these macromolecules act as a dispersed phase. When these macromolecules are added to suitable dispersion medium, okay, when these macromolecules are added to suitable dispersion medium, what is the resultant colloid? The resultant colloid is called macromolecular colloids. Well, here further, if I consider macromolecules, yes, macromolecules up to origin, they may be, okay, they may be natural. Macromolecules may be of natural one or may be of synthetic. Okay, we have two kinds. Okay, macromolecules of may be natural origin or they may be of synthetic origin, if the whose size is already in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Such macromolecules when added to dispersion medium, suitable dispersion medium, resultant colloid form is called macromolecular colloids. Yes, if I consider macromolecules, so what we are saying here, individual atoms or molecules are in the colloidal range, means the size of the particle is already in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So these particles, okay, these particles when added to suitable dispersion medium, the resultant colloid formed is called macromolecular colloids. Okay, so consider naturally occurring macromolecules. As I said, macromolecules are of maybe natural origin or maybe synthetic one. If I consider naturally occurring macromolecules, so example, starch is a well-known example. Okay, starch is a well-known example for naturally occurring macromolecule. Means starch sol. If I consider starch sol, okay, starch sol becomes an example for macromolecular colloid. Then cellulose, okay, cellulose, it is also macromolecules whose size is in the colloid range. And even if I consider proteins whose size is already in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, they are also constitutes naturally occurring macromolecules. Even enzymes. So if I consider naturally occurring macromolecules, what are those? Starch, cellulose, proteins, okay, proteins and enzymes. So these are known example for naturally occurring macromolecules. Well, we consider, okay, synthetic one, or I can say man-made macromolecules. So example for these man-made macromolecules includes polymers. Generally, what we are saying, synthetic polymers are example for, okay, man-made macromolecules. Example, polythene is an example, and nylon is another example for man-made macromolecules, and polystyrene, okay, polystyrene, synthetic rubber. So these are well-known examples for, okay, man-made macromolecules. Well, it's about second type, that is macro, okay, macromolecular colloids. Now the third type of colloid is called associated colloids. So third type of colloid is associated colloids. Well, here when we look at the word associated, association means, again I can say aggregation, right? Aggregation, okay, association, again it is refers to aggregation. Aggregation means, as like in the first case we said, multimolecular, smaller particles they aggregate, okay, smaller particles they aggregate, so that resultant particles formed will be a macro, sorry, size, whose size will be in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. So such a type of colloid is formed called multimolecular. Okay, multimolecular colloid ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೌದಾ? So the smaller particles of size less than 1 nanometer, when they aggregate themselves, the resultant particle formed whose size is in the range of 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, and the colloid formed is called multimolecular colloids. Now we are thinking of associated colloids. So here association means, again I can consider aggregation itself, means how they differ, how it differ from multimolecular colloids. How associated colloid differs from multimolecular colloid means, so the first thing here, associated colloids are formed by electrolytes. Please remember, associated colloids are formed by electrolytes, which means here the dispersed phase particles, are always electrolytes. Okay, these dispersed phase particles are always electrolytes. On the other hand, in multimolecular colloids, the dispersed phase particles, okay, any particle, not necessarily electrolyte, any kind of particle having size less than 1 nanometer, less than 1 nanometer can form multimolecular colloids. Okay, well, it's a basic difference. So here, if I consider associated colloids, what it says, some substances at low concentration, means quantitatively if you consider, when they are taken in a very less quantity, so we are specifying at low concentration. The some substances at a low concentration, they behave as a strong electrolyte. Okay, now there are some substances at low concentration, at their low concentration they behave as a strong electrolyte, they act as a strong electrolyte. Yes, what do you mean by electrolyte here? Okay, electrolyte is nothing but these are the substances, okay, the substances that undergo ionization, that ionize when dissolved in suitable ionizing solvent such as water. So well known example, sodium chloride is an electrolyte. When added to water, what happens? It undergo ionization. It splits into Na plus and Cl minus. How the Na plus and Cl minus. So we generally called electrolytes. So here there are some substances. Okay, which at their lower concentration they behave as a strong electrolyte. Means at very low concentration they act as a strong electrolyte. Again here, meaning of strong electrolyte, it undergo complete dissociation. Okay, strong electrolyte ಯಾಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it undergo complete dissociation. Well, but at high concentration, okay, at a high concentration what happens? They exhibit colloidal behavior due to formation of a aggregates. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, there are certain electrolytes or you can say substances at their low concentration, at a low concentration they simply act as a strong electrolyte, but at high concentration what happens? They exhibit colloidal behavior due to formation of a aggregates. Okay, formation of a aggregates. Such aggregates formed, okay, such aggregates formed are called micelles, are also called associated. Again, so what I am saying is there are certain substances at low concentration they behave as a strong electrolyte, but at high concentration they exhibit colloidal behavior due to formation of a aggregates. The aggregated particles thus formed are called micelles or associated colloids. Okay, well here the surface active agents such as soaps and detergents, okay, surface active agents anta ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು, such as soaps and detergents, they are well known example for, okay, activated colloids. Okay, well, now if I consider condition for micelle formation, whether micelle formation takes place, that aggregate, okay, as we said, at low concentration that substance act as a strong electrolyte, but at higher concentration, okay, there will be formation of a aggregates. Okay, that aggregate formed is called associated colloid, or even it is also called a micelles. Now, whether missile formation of missile takes place at all concentration and temperature, okay, if I consider concentration and temperature, whether that missile formation, okay, is influenced by two factors. One is concentration, second one is temperature. Whether missile formation takes place at all concentration? No. Answer is no. Similarly, if I consider missile formation, whether missile formation takes place at all temperature? No. So, missile formation do not take place at all concentration and at all temperature. Then what is the formation of missile takes place? The formation of missile takes place only above a particular temperature. And the formation of missile takes place only above a particular temperature. That temperature is called Kraft temperature. Please remember the definition. It is very, very important. The formation of missile takes place only above a particular temperature is called Kraft temperature. Similarly, formation of missile takes place only above a particular concentration. Only above a particular concentration is called critical missile concentration. So two terms are very, very, very important. One is, okay, Kraft temperature, and second one CMC. Critical missile concentration. Yes, what is Kraft temperature? The formation of missile takes place only above a particular temperature is called Kraft temperature. Then what is CMC? Critical missile concentration. It is the formation of missile takes place only above a particular concentration is called critical missile concentration. So in short, it is abbreviated as a CMC. Now further on dilution, if you dilute these associated colloids, what happens? These colloids are revert back to individual electrolytes. Means whatever aggregate formed, okay, on dilution, what happens? That colloid will be lost, and particles they move away from one another. It simply again act as a just electrolyte. Okay, well. Now, if I consider for soaps, okay, generally for soaps, the CMC, that is critical missile concentration for soaps. What is the range? 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3 moles per liter, means molar concentration. So what is the CMC for soaps? It is 10 raised to minus 4 molar to 10 raised to minus 3 molar. Please remember the concentration range. Then soaps have, if I consider molecules of a soap, okay, the molecules of a soap, yes, they have both lyophobic and lyophilic parts. Yes, we know the meaning of this lyophilic and lyophobic. Okay, solvent loving and solvent hating or repelling. So here lyophobic means, okay, solvent hate or repelling. Lyophilic means solvent attracting. Okay, attracting parts. If I consider soap molecule, say if it is a consider it is a soap molecule, okay, say this portion, head part is lyophilic and the tail part is, okay, it is the head part, and remaining is considered as a tail part. The tail part is lyophobic. It can be considered, right? So in general, if I consider any soap molecules, yes, soap molecules have both. Okay, soap molecules have both lyophilic as well as lyophobic parts. So if I consider soap molecules, yes, there are two parts, head part and, okay, head part and tail part. So the head part usually lyophilic in nature, while the tail part is lyophobic in nature. Okay, well. Now, if I consider a missile, one associate formed. Yes, a missile contains, the missile of soap may contain as many as 100 or more normal molecules. Means if I consider one missile molecule, one associate formed, okay, say one associate, if I consider it is the missile, okay, if I consider it is the missile formed by an electrolyte, yes, it contains as many as 100 or more of normal molecules. This missile is formed by minimum 100 100 or more than 100 normal molecules. When they associate, resultant will be mesial formation. Well, now coming to the MCQs, gold soul is an example for. Now gold soul anta kaltiva. Yes, it is an example for what type of colloid? Multimolecular colloid, macromolecular colloid, associated colloid, and none of this. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, is an example for multimolecular colloid. So here what happens? Gold soul means gold particles of size less than 1 nanometer. When they aggregate, it leads to formation of a particle of result size whose size will be in the range of colloidal range, or I can say 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer. Therefore, gold soul is an example for multimolecular colloids. Yes. Next, in macromolecular colloids, okay, individual atoms are in the colloidal range, aggregates of atoms are in the colloidal range, both none of. So macromolecular, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲಿ macro large size ಅಂದ್ರೆ individual atoms are in the colloidal range. So as we said, macromolecules naturally occurring as well as synthetic one, or I can say man-made. Please remember examples for those. Next question. For soaps, the critical mesial concentration is. So for soap, what is the CMC value they are asking? The first option, 10 raised to minus 5 to minus 4 mole per liter, 10 raised to minus 4 to minus 3 mole per liter, 10 raised to minus 2 mole per liter, and 10 raised to minus 2 to minus 1 mole per liter. Yes, what is the CMC here? 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 3 mole per liter. Option second, B is correct. Well, next one, soap molecules have, if I consider molecule of a soap, lyophilic part only, lyophobic part only, neither lyophilic nor lyophobic parts, both lyophilic and lyophobic parts. If I consider soap molecules, as I said, yes, there will be two parts. One is head part, and another one is tail part. Okay, if I consider soap molecules, yes, there are two parts. One is head part and tail part. What is the head? The nature of the head? Head is lyophilic in nature. Lyophilic in nature, while tail is lyophobic in nature. Lyophobic in nature, which means yes. What is the answer here? The soap molecules have both lyophilic and lyophobic parts. Yes, with this, I'm going to conclude about this session. Again, in the next session, we continue the remaining part of the chapter. Okay, thank you. Be safe.
Yeah.